Our next guest is the executive chef of New York's Brasserie Les Halles and the author of this best-selling memoir of his life in the restaurant business entitled Kitchen Confidential. Here's Anthony Bourdain, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program.
Happy to be here.
I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this book. It was fascinating stuff. It seems like a great, wild, exciting, colorful life, being a chef, being a cook, working in restaurants and stuff.
The child's dream of running a pirate crew.
Yeah. Now, you used to run a restaurant, or had a restaurant right next door to this theater, right?
Yeah.
It was called Sullivan's, and you were hoping to cash in on that Ed Sullivan mania. What was the deal? Because everybody thought, well, great, this is nice. We have a nice restaurant here. But what happened to that?
Yeah, what a concept, an Ed Sullivan-themed restaurant. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea, was it?
But, I mean, it wasn't really a theme restaurant, was it?
Yeah, I guess. We never figured it out. Was it a nightclub or were we a restaurant? I mean, Ed Sullivan is not the first name that comes to mind, you know, rollicking good time and a good meal.
Yeah. How long was that in business?
I think about 2 years.
Yeah. Let's talk about where. Tell me the story from the book about the time that you first had an oyster. You're a kid. You're in France with your family.
Yeah, I was bouncing around France with my family. Actually, they were dragging me around. I was not happy to be there.
Right.
I was complaining. You know, the butter tastes cheesy. This milk is strange. I hate this food. And we were invited out on an oyster boat with a neighbor, and who suddenly reached into the water and pulled one out, cracked one open. And I saw my whole family kind of recoil in horror. And I think largely because I realized this is a real opportunity to shock and horrify my family. I'm going to give it a shot.
Right.
And it was great.
So you, as a kid, you just really loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the beginning. That a little light went off, and you said, maybe I have a life in food here.
Food has power to you know, create an impression.
And then you spent a lot of time, I don't know, a lot of time, some summers working at a like a resort restaurant up in Cape Cod. Is that right?
Yeah, one of those places. You know, you've been there someplace like at a a ramshackle seafood restaurant, fried clams, fried shrimp, you know, French fries, diet, you know, light cooking. And you know, I was a dishwasher and just a summer job. And I looked over at the cooks, and these guys, they dressed like pirates, they carried big badass knives, they stole everything in sight, they drank for free, they had these incredibly prolific social lives, shall we say.
Sure.
That looked good to me.
Yeah. There's also another moment, I think, when you're working at one of these places when you had injured yourself working for a meal, and you asked a guy if there was like a first aid kit, or do you have any ointment or bacitracin lotion or something? Right.
Yeah, that's something you don't do in restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, it was my first real job as a cook. I thought I was hot stuff. I'd worked a little bit in this knucklehead restaurant, and I went into a restaurant where they really knew what they were doing. It was very busy. And I was in the weeds, as we say, just terribly behind, and I burned myself on a hot sizzle platter, one of the things they put under the broiler, and I turned to the guy next to me and said, you know, do you have a Band-Aid? And you know, it was just the worst moment. The whole kitchen went quiet, and the guy says to me, oh, you know, you want a Band-Aid, reaches under, grabs a sizzle platter, bare hand, puts it down in front of me, looking in my eyes the whole time. I just, you know, slunk home and, you know, thought about it.
Now, there was, let's talk about eating in restaurants. In New York City, we're like knee-deep in rats. Now, are there rats in restaurants in New York City?
Not my restaurant.
Yeah.
There are. I worked in a Mexican place years ago where they used to drag avocado pits and chicken bones up in the ceiling, and you'd be working, and suddenly the ceiling would crumble, and you know, chicken bones and
from the rats.
Avocado
brought
would
it
come down. They'd come scurrying across your feet. I had one. They'd eat poison, curl up on my shoes in the kitchen. Horrible. Are they that prevalent? Not that.
Now, is it possible to have a sanitary kitchen and also have rodents in it? You know what I mean? Can you cook reasonable meals and still have mice and rats and stuff?
If you save them for stock, make good use of them.
You know, there's when comedians get together, they love nothing more than to talk about times that they have bombed, when they've gone out and for an hour gotten no laughs. Is it the same with cooks and chefs? Do you get together and talk about meals that you really screwed up?
We're all control freaks. We've all had at least one, probably more really terrible nights like that. And I think our whole lives are constructed in such a way as to avoid any possibility of that happening. I had one New Year's Eve at a big nightclub years ago that, you know, people who'd ordered at 9:30 at night, were walking in the kitchen around 12:30, walking themselves in the kitchen, looking behind the line and saying, is that my appetizer? And the waiters were hiding in the kitchen. When the kitchen's quiet, you know you're in trouble.
Now, if there is like a wise guy eating in your restaurant, do you like touch his food and lick the plate and that kind of thing?
Not a good idea. No, we give them what they want, and quickly.
There's a very funny story in here, and my impression from this is that people in your profession go from one job, one restaurant, to another job, to another restaurant, and just make a big swing in a circle through the city and then back again, and they keep doing it over and over again. And you go to an interview, and it's like a steakhouse. And things are going pretty good, and finally, the owner of the steakhouse asks you one question, and you think, well, geez, how exactly do I answer this, and screwed up the whole thing? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, the guy had a very thick Scottish brogue, and I desperately needed this job, and I was doing so well in the interview, and he says, well, what do you know about me? And I'm trying to figure out, what does he want me to say?
Is it a trick
flatter
question?
or what?
Absolutely.
You know, I decided to be honest, next to nothing, I said.
Right.
And, you know, suddenly the interview's over, I'm on my way out the door. I thought, what did I do wrong? And I realized, you know, he runs a steakhouse, and what he really asks is, you know, what do you know about meat? And not the right answer.
Not much. Very little about what? About meat? No, nothing really.
And I was so
Had a
proud.
hamburger or two, that's it.
Yeah.
What do you think about these guys like Emeril Lagasse and those guys on the Food Network?
Well, you're asking me to, you know, kick Santa Claus in the crotch on television. I mean, everybody loves the guy.
I'd pay money to see that.
Me too. A nice guy who runs great restaurants. I find the show excruciating. Most chefs I know, we see it, we want to jump out the window.
And what about also like the Iron Chef, that kind of thing?
I don't understand it, but it's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting, isn't it? Now, if I would come to your restaurant tonight, or anybody comes to your restaurant tonight, and people do come to your restaurant, who's cooking their food? Are you cooking their food?
Not lately, no. I think the
You got a guy who does it.
I have a lot of guys to do it. I think the idea from television, people get the idea that the people cooking your food wear starch white jackets, they speak well, they're adorable and cuddly, like Emeril. In fact, they're more like a Mexican prison gang. You laugh.
Well, bon appetit. It's a fascinating book. It's doing well, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice job. Kitchen Confidential, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here. Nice to have you with us. Anthony Bourdain. We'll be right back with Foo Fighters. Thank you so much, Lemon Palm. Our next guest is one of America's leading chefs and the star of a new Travel Channel series entitled No Reservations. Here's Anthony Bourdain, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
Good to be here.
I have a lot of things to talk to you about, but first of all, let's remind people that you once worked here in the same building nearly, didn't you?
Yeah, that spot's not having a lot of luck, is it?
Well, they got a pretty good pizza place in there now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But yours was, it was based on Ed Sullivan, The Life of Ed Sullivan or something? That was the restaurant?
Not a good theme for a restaurant, I don't think, you know. Does Ed Sullivan spell fun and delicious? I don't know.
What was the problem there? Was it the lease was the problem, the customers, the walk-in? What happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
All of the above.
Just didn't work. But since then, you've gone on to become the chef at wonderful French
Brasserie Leal, yeah.
Yeah. And in your life, you've been a professional chef for like 26 years or so?
Yeah, but I spent the first 28 years of my working life standing up in a small closet-like space, one or the other, all over New York.
Right.
I'd seen very little of the world till recently.
And also a very accomplished author, best-selling books, Kitchen Confidential, on and on and on.
Yeah.
And will eat anything. Look at this guy,
Yeah.
Paul. Is there an ounce of fat on the man?
There is not. You were right. It's as thin as a rail.
I saw a part of the new show where you're in North Vietnam and you're eating porcupine.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, it's got to be horrible. How can it not be horrible?
Plus, it was like porcupine of indeterminate age.
That's
you know,
right.
the restaurant was closed when we arrived, and we were with somebody from the Interior Ministry who flashed a card. Suddenly they opened, and I'm looking at this thing. It really looked like roadkill. I was relieved, in fact, that it was porcupine. At least it was identifiable meat, you know?
And what did it taste like?
Not like chicken.
Yeah.
Somewhere between, you know, a turtle and cat food, you know?
Was it? Now, when I watch you on these shows, you always make it look like you're the luckiest man alive to be eating this wonderful indigenous presentation. But you must run across stuff that's just god awful, right?
I was just in Iceland for the show, and they eat, once a year, they have a big sort of a traditional festival called Torablat, where they eat putrefied shark. That is, they let it rot, and then they marinate it in lye or lactic acid for 6 months. And this is
6 months.
This is like it wasn't bad enough already.
For 6 months.
And I will tell you, it is the single worst thing I have ever eaten in my life. And this is me talking. So I've eaten live reptile parts. So that's saying a lot.
And what about it do the Icelanders enjoy?
I think it's sort of a rite of passage celebrating earlier, harder times. I don't think a lot of them like it. I mean, they handle it with rubber gloves and pick it up with toothpicks, so you don't even touch it. It's really nasty. You know, if you think back on your childhood goldfish that died like 35 years ago, if you were to revisit them now and take a big bite out of them, that would pretty much reproduce the same textural flavor experience,
Right,
I think.
right. But the truth of it is, the human organism can pretty much eat anything, can't it?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Have you ever had food poisoning when you're traveling doing these shows?
I violated every known traveler's warning of what you're not supposed to eat under any circumstance. Generally, if I'm a good guest, if locals are eating it or drinking it, I'll do it. I feel very lucky to visit these countries and be treated well. The only time I've been desperately ill was in my ancestral homeland of France. I just broke down, and after too much rich food, just every once in a while you spin the wheel and you lose. And of course, my producers love nothing more than catching me like curled up in the fetal position on a cold tile floor. They think that's video gold.
Now, on the old show and then now on the new show, I notice we see quite a lot of you drinking and smoking.
Yeah, well, that's how I keep my girlish figure.
But you consume a great quantity of the local spirits, it seems like.
You're not making friends in the world if you don't keep up. I mean, like I said, I'm a good guest. You know, you go to Russia, and for instance, where it's really tough to keep up. All of the toasts are personal. You know, it's like, this is to our, glorious countries. This is to our homelands. This is to the spirit of international cooperation. This is to our mothers. What are you going to do? Say, well, the hell with your mother,
Yeah. I'm going to sit this one out.
Right.
That doesn't work, does it?
I try to keep up.
Yeah. Now, in the terms of, I think you eat different kinds of food than I would order in a restaurant. If I were to go into, like, your restaurant, what would be the most, for me, unusual dish I might consume? Like, do you have sweetbreads in there?
We have sweetbreads. We have pig's feet.
Now, pig's feet, how are those prepared?
All the bones are taken out. They're essentially stewed till they're tender. All the bones are taken out. Then they're spread with a little mustard, breadcrumbs.
Are they
sauce.
tasty?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. And the sweetbreads, that's cow brains?
Thymus glands.
Oh, thymus glands.
They're glandy delicious.
No kidding. I always thought sweetbreads were the brains. What are the brains called?
Brains.
And well, how do you prepare the thymus glands?
Light dusting of flour, saute in a hot pan with butter. They're delicious.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But I mean, almost anything would be delicious prepared that way, wouldn't it?
I think you're gonna find that most chefs love that stuff after work, and for their it's to their own taste. We get bored with steak and lobster, and it takes a real cook to coax flavor and texture out of a hoof or snout.
Yes, sir. Now, it seems like just a few years ago there was one or two television chefs. There was Julia Child, and then maybe you had Jacques Pepin, and then that seemed like to be pretty much the run of the mill as far as TV chefs go. And now they're just everywhere, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they're popping up everywhere, aren't they?
Are these truly world-class chefs that we see on television now?
Some of them. I mean, I may not like Emerald's show, but the guy's a real chef. I mean, he's worked in the business forever. He paid his dues. Guys like Mario Batali, that's a real chef. Mm-hmm. You know, some of these creatures, like the one who has the show where, you know, apparently they show you how to take, you know, a 2-week-old box of Triscuits, some Cheese Whiz, and some, you know, some Cool Whip, and you can feed your family, and they'll lose weight.
And lose weight. Wow.
Yeah, is that a chef? You know, Rachel Ray, cute, but is that a chef?
Oh, but she's hot. I am very fond of Rachel Ray. I worry about her because she travels all over eating $40 a day. And your point about spending $40, anybody can spend $40 a day on food if
you stiff every waiter in town.
That's right.
the traveling deadbeat, you know, it's like, tip, lady.
But she's very, very cute. And so anyway, the new show, give us an idea where you're going. We know you're in Vietnam. We know you're going to Iceland. You know you're going to Russia. What other locations?
Just got back from Uzbekistan. Let's see, Vietnam. I was in Borneo, Las Vegas.
Borneo?
Yeah.
With actual man-eaters, is that correct?
My host, I stayed in a longhouse in the jungle with these heavily tattooed Dayak dudes who, though some of the older generations still have tattoos on their fingers. Indicating that they lopped off heads back in the day.
Wow.
And in fact, I ate dinner in the longhouse with the tribe,
What were they
and
eating?
they had a big little bouquet of skulls over the...
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, was that just for show, or that really is
No, that's,
artifacts of their ancestry,
their
heritage?
They're of recent memory in some cases.
Is that right?
It's food, folks, and fun out there.
Yeah.
It's simple cuisine, but...
Now, how do these guys decide who they'll eat? You know, I mean, who makes that decision?
I don't know. They were couldn't have been nicer to name. They were. I was grateful for that.
Guess what we're having for dinner tonight? Larry. That's just awful. Well, I'm fascinated by the show and also your books and your restaurant. The show is called No Reservations, Monday at 10 on the Travel Channel. Where the hell is the Travel Channel?
Again, I think here it's on like 88, something
88.
like that. But well worth searching around the dark.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. Anthony Bourdain, ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here, sir. We'll be right back, everybody. I used to do a thing where I would take off all my clothes and I would sit on a piece of cheese and then you swallow a live mouse. But that's a different. That's a different. That's a different.
Totally different.
That's a different.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this. No.
Our next guest stars on a popular Travel Channel series entitled No Reservations. Please welcome Anthony Bourdain. This show, I guess you've been doing it for about 5 years in one form or another, where you travel around the world to exotic places and you sample the food, the cuisine, and the life of these areas. And I've seen you eat some things, and I just wonder, do you get sick? Do you get hepatitis? Do you throw up? Have you ever been really ill?
Only 2 times in 4 years. Only 2 times.
Is
Once
that right?
In France, of all places.
What were you eating in France that turned on you?
Just too much of a good thing. Another time, the business end of let's put it this way: sanitation in the Kalahari is not a premium, you know, especially when you're eating the business end of a warthog. And,
really, a warthog?
Not good. Sand, fur, and crap in every bite. That was not good. But most of the time, if I find myself kind of on a cold tile floor after a meal on the show, most of the time it's alcohol related.
I see. Well, good. I can rest assured now. But is it true? And I guess I have this impression from watching your show that humans pretty much can eat anything. Is that about right?
Pretty much. I wouldn't recommend. I don't know. I'm not a Chicken McNugget fan, but
those things will kill you. Hello. And I didn't see this show, but I think I saw it in a promo where it's a snake. They cut the heart out of a cobra. How do they do? Where was that?
It's in Vietnam. I've come to dread the phrase "something very special." As in, Mr. Bourdain, we have something very special for you. That usually means there's something still living or living not too long ago. It's a tableside dish, and they bring the cobra by, and they let him kind of strike at you and hiss, and then they zip him open with a pair of gardening shears, and a little heart drops into a plate, and you eat it, and it is in fact beating all the way down.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Whoa. But, I mean, do you swallow it? Do you chew it? What do you do?
It's kind of a one-bite. It's like eating a very athletic, angry oyster.
An athletic oyster. Oh, my God. And you say Vietnam is considered a delicacy, or is that something they have all the time?
It's not an everyday dish.
Yeah, it's something special, like you said.
Honored guest. It's kind of an early. It's supposed to put you in the mood and cause many, many sons.
Ooh, wow. Speaking of that, had a child, not a son, but a little girl. Is that correct?
I'm a new first-time
Well,
dad.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
How old is the girl?
She's 11 months, and I've recently discovered the unholy supernatural powers of Elmo. I don't know whether you've noticed this. It's like hitting her with a stun gun. She calms right down, loves that, just sits there mesmerized by him. I have this kind of recurring nightmare that I wake up and I go into the living room and she's there watching Rachel Ray with the same blissed out look on her face, and I'm stop.
But now this brings up an interesting question, and I know it's occurred to you. A lot of times kids go through phases, and sometimes not just a phase, but they just become picky or difficult eaters. And you eat anything, and you want your daughter to eat anything too, right?
This child will never know what a grilled cheese sandwich with a crust cut off is. She will soon be on a first name basis with every sushi chef in Manhattan. It'll be Uncle Masa, Uncle Yasuda, and Mom's Italian, and already getting. I'm not kidding. Prosciutto flavored baby food sent over.
Really?
So.
Oh, well, that's nice.
This will not be. A happy but weird child, I'm hoping.
Well, that's all you can hope for. But I remember reading one of your books where you started out working, as everybody does in that business, in these sweatshop-like restaurants, tourist places up on Cape Cod. Was that what it was? Now, could you go back and do that again?
It's funny. I went back recently. I get a lot of grief from old friends who are still chefs, and they say, you've been doing this for the TV thing for a long time now. You're past it. You've lost all your credibility. Do you even cook anymore? So I thought, well, you know what? I'll go back to my old restaurant and I'll work my old double Tuesday shift where I'd work from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight. What I kind of neglect, and I'll film it, for television. Really bad idea, because the kitchen is the same size, but the dining room has doubled in size. It's 8 years later. I'm 51 years old. Fortunately, however, I thought if I'm going to suffer, it's always better to have someone suffer along with you, and maybe even worse. So I invited Eric Repair, who's the chef of Le Bernardin, to join me.
And you don't need to. I don't need to. But this guy, you ever eaten in that place?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, I've had the 3 great meals in my life. They've all been at that restaurant.
He's a great chef. He's never worked in anything but like a 3-star, very refined, beautiful kitchen. So here he is.
The thing this guy does, I don't mean to interrupt, but this Eric Repair, the thing he does is with the aerosol cheese. Have you tried that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyway, go ahead.
Here, Leal, where I worked, it's a turn and burn steakhouse. It does 385, 500 meals, and and plus, as you know, he largely works with seafood. So I thought it'd be really funny to throw him into this busy mosh pit kitchen. And put him on the grill station. And so we ended up having a lot of fun.
Did it work pretty well? It must have been exhausting. It's exhausting even when you're a kid. Yeah.
I made it through the night, but I woke up the next day feeling it, and any notion I might have about going back to it, I'm kidding myself.
Now, the other thing that I've gained from watching the show is that one message, if any other message, it's that you should eat more organ meat.
Yeah. Anybody, you can really train a reasonably intelligent bonobo monkey to grill a steak or boil a lobster. It takes really, and I have.
But you got to get in there. I mean, for example, sweetbreads, again, is it the thymus gland?
The thymus gland.
Thymus gland.
I think most chefs really love that stuff, you know, the shanks and shoulders and the tough bits, the squiggly bits, because it really takes some craft and some magic to make that into something good.
That was it when the relationship of humans to food was more than just a nice time out. I mean, it was essential. You had to use all of the animal.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the real cooking is, and you know where your food comes from then. It's not this shrink-wrapped kind of hygienic stuff.
The show, Mondays at 10 a.m., is a huge hit for the Travel Channel. It's Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations. Good to see you again. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next guest is a star of a new Travel Channel series entitled The Layover. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Anthony Bourdain. Everyone, the enigmatic Anthony Bourdain. Hey again, thank you for being here. How's it going? You know what I mean? Good. Anthony, how much do you weigh?
196.
196, and you look like you're about 6'4", something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Whenever I see your show, the No Reservation, I'm worried because it's not like you have a meal. You have 3 or maybe 4 meals and then snacks every show, and I think, how can this guy not be jeopardizing his health? I mean, are you in good shape? What's your cholesterol?
Not so good.
Not so good.
Yeah.
And are you still...
No, cut down on the cigarettes.
Yeah.
I managed to quit that a few years ago.
And do you exercise? Do you work out?
I got to get to that one of these days. No.
The other thing is that you're always gone. You're never home. I mean, how many days of the year are you out traveling, shooting your program?
Between the show and speaking gigs, about 240 days a year.
240 days a year.
That's a lot of time in airports.
Yeah. Now, do you like that?
I have the best job in the world, so as long as it's fun, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. But you have a little girl at home. How old is she? 4 years old?
She's about 4.5.
4.5 years old. Now, do you get to take her with you on the show?
You'll notice a suspiciously high number of shows in Italy, where my wife's from, Western Europe, where my in-laws can come and all be together. So
well,
I try to plan destinations around.
No, if you can do that, that's a lovely thing. And now you have a second show, and I'm thinking, well, I mean, come on.
I'm milking this celebrity chef thing for everything I can
But
get
do
out
you
of it.
realize how many sad cases of people who only have one show? Are you aware of that? It's tragic. It's pathetic. Now, I watched the Layover show today, and to me, it's the same as the other show. Explain to me the difference between No Reservations and Layover.
Well, No Reservations, it's more about me having fun, and whether other people can replicate the experience or not, I don't really care. You know, it's all about me.
Hedonistic.
Layover is we're trying anyway to be useful, meaning these are places, destinations that you can actually
So
go.
you're in Malaysia. It was Singapore when I saw this show, and you get 24-plus hours in Singapore. So what do? You go to this tremendous, huge food market kind of place where it had a million different kinds of cuisine and a million different kinds of stuff. Was it all good?
Their street food is maybe the best in the world. You get the most variety and the highest number of places. It's good, cheap, delicious, and probably good for you.
Yeah. And why? And compare it to what? Compare it to the United States. Compare it to New York. Our street food compared to their street food? Really?
I mean, I love meat on a stick, but you tend to pay a price for it here.
Yeah.
It's just the street gyros. I can't stay away from them. I know, that's going to be some extra time on the Thunder Bucket, but well worth it.
And why, in a place like Singapore, would the quality of food be better than it is here in this country?
Because everything else is illegal.
They run a very strict society, don't they?
Yeah.
Everything, including what? No drugs? No
Drugs
littering? No littering?
Littering, no. I think even like some television shows that we take for granted that we consider pretty mild stuff, no go over there.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing that has been stuck up my nose for the last 10 years. And you're the guy to help me out with. We have two 24-hour-a-day food networks.
Yes.
Talking about, oh, look how much fun it is to prepare food. Look at how much fun it is to eat food. Look at a dozen different ways to prepare the same thing. We have two networks, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now you also have shows where it's guys who are going to, cake wars. And they're going to, oh, I can build a cake that looks like a Jeep. Okay, build a cake that looks like... Yeah. And then you have the cupcake wars. And then you have the top chef or the bottom chef or the last chef or on and on and on and on. And this is all well and good, except for the fact that in the world there's 100 million people starving. So how do we justify the commerce that is generated off gluttony with the fact that 100 million people in the world are starving?
Well, you know, where I draw the line is, you know, you see someone on TV making, you know, a bacon cheeseburger with an egg on top between two Krispy Kreme donuts. I just thinking, you know, have we crossed the line? Is this something America needs right now?
No. And it's something. Now, what I wonder about are all of the, like your show, for example. A certain amount of your profits go to the World Food Program or something like that, or like the Food Channel. Did they take this into consideration?
No, actually, I spend all the money on crack cocaine and, you know, shiny new cars. No.
Shiny new cars. But the crack cocaine.
No, but I mean, at least we come with a parental advisory, which, I mean, I do a lot of unhealthy stuff on my show, but I'm not, you know, I think perhaps some of these other shows would be a good idea to...
Well, they get that one guy who travels around and says, okay, today we got a meatloaf the size of this desk. You have 20 minutes to eat it.
What do they think of this show in Afghanistan?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. There are people in this world to keep their stomachs full are actually eating dirt. And then this guy's, all right, bring it on! And then they wheel in this thing on a gurney, and Tubby sits down and goes crazy.
Well, you know, why do people watch this show?
I don't know why.
I'll tell you why. You want to... I think they're watching it for the same reason that people go to see Siegfried and Roy. You know, you want someone to die. You figure today's the day he's going to choke on that burger.
You want to be there when the guy pitches forward
when the tiger takes a bite out of a German.
Yeah.
Hey.
Germans? Come on, lighten up a little bit. Now, do you find it a day will you ever go back to actually chefing again? Are you done chefing?
Well, I hope I don't have to go back to brunch, but it's always a possibility. I don't think I'd be much use in the kitchen.
Why was brunch the problem?
You know, no matter how low things were in my life, how desperate, how unlovely my personal habits at the time, I knew I could always get a brunch gig. So for me, brunch was always, the smell of failure was French toast.
Well, you can't go wrong with Eggs Benedict either, for God's sake. Anyway, it's a brand new show. It's called The Layover. You can see it beginning November 21st at 9. Now, will that follow No Reservations?
In between.
In between.
I mean, we're going to
no
stop
reservations,
no reservations.
Layover. No, good for you. Anthony Bourdain, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. We'll be right back with Joan Baez and Chris Christopherson and everybody.
Burrows, you know, although I believe he does. I didn't say that. Anyway, the point is that the lines are lighting up on the Pope thing. See, immediately.
Yeah, of course.
What do you say about the Pope? I love the Pope.
I'm down with the Pope, man.
I love seeing him in his Pope-mobile, his 3 feet of bulletproof plexiglass. That's faith in action, folks. Okay. You know he's got God on his side. Anyway, the point I'm making is about the idea of freedom of expression, and I believe that that there's this agenda in mainstream media, and I think it's fairly easy to back this up, to keep people stupid, docile, and apathetic, and therefore the elite who own these corporations and the families that own the corporations, even fewer people, their agenda is to keep us stupid and apathetic. That's why I love public access. And again, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming out.
I appreciate it.
So Dave also likes you.
Dave likes me, but what I found out subsequently to all this, and oh, by the way, I don't mean to keep pushing my own little horn here, but tooting my horn, but on Monday, this Monday, in the New Yorker magazine, there's a profile about me, including this story about Letterman. I found out that it's one of Dave's rules that he doesn't like comics to talk about Jesus on the show. Which I find really weird. I mean, they pretend to be this hip late-night talk show, when in actuality they're as mainstream as anything. And again, it doesn't matter what angle you take on the Jesus subject. That's what bugs me. Just because I'm a comic doesn't mean I'm treating it with disrespect.
Jesus in person?
Organized religion.
Ah.
But, you know, there's a lot, you know, for instance, let me just give you an example. See, what they do is they kowtow to a minority that's very vocal. Reasonable people don't write letters. Reasonable people have lives. Reasonable people know it's just a joke. Reasonable people know it's just TV. They know they can change the channel or they'll wait and something else will come on.
Sure.
See, reasonable people don't get it active. It's these minorities, these fundamentalists who are totally organized, and they are a minority, and who are the ones trying to set this agenda for America. And but come to find out, Dave, you know, I guess 14 million was his price. You know what I mean? Everyone has a price, they say.
Oh, man.
Luckily, I don't have any money, so it doesn't matter my price.
Let me tell you a little bit about the program tonight. We have a lovely woman by the name of Mary Hicks. And I'm guessing you perhaps don't recognize this woman's name, but her son, Bill Hicks, yes, was a stand-up comedian, and he appeared on our old show, Late Night, 11 times, and we always loved Bill. He was tremendously funny and had a great energy, and we just got a big kick out of him. And his first late-night performance was November 15th, 1984. 1984, that's so long ago now.
I can't remember.
And it was exciting that night because it was his network television debut. Huh. And his 12th appearance, we had him on this show, October 1st, 1993. And he came out and he did his stand-up about 5 or 6 minutes. And afterwards, in considering what I had seen, and it was an error of judgment on my part, just a mistake.
Really?
I made a decision, I think, born of insecurity more than anything else, and I said, I don't think we want to have that on the show. So we removed it from the show. Right. And when I say we, I mean the production staff, but the decision was mine.
Yes.
And
yeah.
And like I say, looking back on it, I had no real reason. I don't know why, and I'm sorry that I did, and it was a mistake. So what we're going tonight, and then the sad part of this story was later, the following year, February 26th, which coming up, oddly enough, will be about 15 years, the anniversary of Bill's death. He passed away on February 26th in 1994. He was only 32 years old, and sadly had pancreatic cancer. But I think only a few members of his family and friends knew it at the time, and we found out about it, of course, later. So as you grow older, things come in and out of your mind, and you think, well, you can't really correct mistakes you have made in life all the time. But I thought, perhaps just symbolically here tonight, we will have Bill's mother on, talk about his life and his career, and then we will show you what was taken out of this show back on October 1st, 1993. So that's what we're going to do. We'll be right back. Oh, also, look at this. The Gaslight Anthem. The 59 sound. We'll be right back with tonight's Top 10 list, everybody. And there you go, and there you go, and there you go. Thank you, Felicia. Nice job. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a nice welcome to the mother of the late, great comedian, Bill Hicks, the lovely Mary Hicks, everyone. Thank you very much for being so gracious and so generous to come and visit with us here so we could take a look at Bill's shot on the program that never got on. And let me again, if I haven't previously, just apologize for the heartache and sadness that my decision caused you and your family. And of course, made all the worse by the knowledge that at the time Bill was terribly, terribly sick. And not many people knew that, did they?
Very few.
Very few, yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that.
And when the diagnosis, it was pancreatic cancer, is it true that he moved back into home with you folks?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And, that must have been a wonderful time in an odd way, of course.
In an odd way it was. It was a privilege, and it was what I expected. You know, most people when they're sick want their mother.
Yeah.
So he came home. Of course, you know, he was continuing to go out on...
He was still working?
He worked until January.
Mm-hmm. And did you learn things about his life on the road as a comic that maybe a mother doesn't want to know?
Well, I found out.
Yeah.
And it should have curled my hair, but it didn't. And yes, he did try to tell me what he had been doing from the time he left home at 18. And some of it, you know, should have bothered me, but at that time it didn't, because I knew Bill, and he had come out of the bad part of the time that he had. Mm-hmm. So I listened, and no, and I would not have had him go through that if I had had my choice.
Did you know early on, did he know early on that he wanted to be a comic? I'll bet he knew maybe long before you knew.
Well, he knew a long time before I knew. He always said when he was, up until the time he got interested in comedy, that he was going to Texas A&M to be a vet.
Oh.
He loved animals, and that's what he wanted to do. And then he got interested in watching Johnny Carson, and he read books about Woody Allen. So he got interested in that. He said that he saw Johnny Carson on TV, and he thought, "Ooh, you mean you can make a living doing that?" So he decided. He decided that's what he would do.
Yeah, yeah. And did he perform early? Could you, looking back, did you remember? Oh, I see what he was doing. He was trying his comedy on the family, or parties or stuff.
Dave, there are no showbiz people in our family, so what he did, we just thought was our child doing that. We certainly didn't think it would go into a career, not for a long time. But
where is your family from, by the way? We should mention that.
Well, that's hard to tell because we moved so much, but we lived for 12 years in Houston, which is where Bill went through school, and that's where he got into comedy in Houston.
And was his early material, or maybe continuing, was it about family? Did you recognize jokes? Did you hear jokes about yourself?
Well, I didn't hear jokes about me for years, but I heard that he was telling jokes about me and the rest of the family. But that's all he knew when he first started.
Sure, that's right. And would you go see him perform when he was starting working in clubs and other venues and stuff?
No. He said that if we came, he wouldn't go up. So I, of course, didn't know about comedy clubs, and I thought, well, how strange. If you're on the program, why don't you have to go up? So we didn't go. He asked us not to, so we didn't go.
Yeah.
And I will tell you something. He asked his dad and me to go see a musician that he admired. And so my husband said, well, Bill, can we have dinner there? And, of course, Bill thought that was real funny because that was not the kind of place where they had served dinner.
Right.
But we went, and Bill did not go with us. He went with a group of friends. And my husband and I sat at this little table, and some young man came and sat at the next table to us by himself. And he kept looking at us, and finally he said, well, what are y'all doing here? Because we were the only old people in there. and we said, well, we came to see this musician. And I said, well, what are you doing here? And he said, well, he was a college student, and on his way home, he heard that this man was performing, and he liked him, so he just came straight there. But he couldn't couldn't understand why we were there. And then Bill came over and spoke to us. So, you know, I guess he realized why we were there. But anyway, Bill pulled things like that on us sometimes.
So do you remember anything about the musician you saw that night?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. How was he?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What kind of music?
Well, can I tell his name?
Oh, sure. I think that would be
Oh,
useful.
his name is Eric. What is Eric's last name? Eric Johnson.
Oh, Eric Johnson.
He's very good.
Yeah, okay.
Have you ever heard of him?
No. Paul? Eric Johnson?
Is he a surfer?
No.
Galveston,
Well, I mean,
on the
he
Galveston coast of the Gulf of Mexico, Galveston?
He could, but I don't think so.
I thought so.
No, I think that...
How did you feel about coming here tonight? Was this an easy decision for you to make? I mean, I was... I
were
thought...
you surprised that I accepted?
I believe I'm surprised when anybody comes here. No, wasn't surprised, but part of me thought, well, she has every reason not to come here.
That's
yeah.
right. I had a lot of reasons not to come. And I thought about it, and then I decided to come.
Good. I'm glad you're here. And again, I know I can't make up for the damage that was caused, but I hope symbolically this means something to you.
Well, it does. Right. And I will tell you that was a very hard time 15 years ago when that happened. And I just will have to tell you that it was.
Well, I'm well aware of that.
I know that.
I don't know personally how difficult it was, but I can certainly, now that I have a son, I can certainly imagine what that...
You had to have a child to know.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, what else you want to know?
I'll tell you what we're going to do, Mary. When we come back, we're going to play the tape from October 1st, 1993. We'll be right back with Bill Hicks, everybody. Here we go. So this will be now October 1st, 1993, and I think it's safe to say that some of the references now, I mean 16 years ago, are not going to seem perhaps all that contemporary, but I bet it'll just be fine. Must have seen the videotape, right? This is not the first time you've seen it?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, and when you see it, you must be very happy and pleased to have seen it, and sad also, obviously.
Really? I mean, I'm all of that.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to take a look here tonight, and I want you folks to enjoy this, honestly. Here he is now doing stand-up comedy on this stage in a segment that I had taken out of our program October 1st, 1993. Here's the very funny Bill Hicks.
Thank you. Good evening. Very excited to be here tonight, and I got some great news today. I finally got my own TV show coming out as a replacement show this fall. Yeah. Thank you. It's not a talk show. Don't worry. It's a half-hour weekly show that I will host entitled Let's Hunt and Kill Billy Ray Cyrus. Thank you. It's fairly self-explanatory. Each week we let the hounds of hell loose. We chase that jarhead, no-talent, cracker idiot all over the globe. Till I finally catch that fruity little ponytail of his, pull him to his knees, put a shotgun in his mouth. Then we'll be back in '94 with Let's Hunt and Kill Michael Bolton. Also look out for our Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, Marky Mark Christmas special. And I don't want to give away any surprises, but Marky Mark's the first one we catch and kill on that show because his pants kept falling around his ankles and he couldn't run away. I crossbow him right in the ab. Bring the whole kids, the family, and everything. It's a Christmas spectacular. I don't know what my deal is. I'm like a 31-year-old curmudgeon. That's the deal. You know, I went to a dance club the other day, you know, and dragged against my will, you know. And this girl asked me to dance, which I thought was hilarious, you know. Would you like to dance? You know, I'm like, yeah, you read my mind, you know. That's why I'm leaning in the darkest corner closest to the exit, you know. I'm about to boogie. I'm about to cut a rug. But it's weird. Women have this weird myth. You can tell the way a guy is in bed by how he is on a dance floor. I think that's ridiculous. What does it matter? You know what I mean? If a guy is on a dance floor really getting into it, enjoying himself, expressing himself, what does it matter how he is in bed? He's gay. Real men don't dance. They sit, sweat, and curse. Speaking of homosexuality, you know, I consider myself fairly open-minded, but something has come to my attention I find absolutely shocking. I don't know if you've heard about it. These new grade school books for children to teach them gay lifestyles. You know what I'm talking about? One of them is called Heather's Two Mommies. The other is called Daddy's New Roommate. I'm going to have to draw the line here, folks, and say this is absolutely disgusting, okay? It is grotesque and evil. I'm talking about Daddy's New Roommate. Heather's Two Mommies is pretty cool. I don't know if you will check that out. They're hugging on page 7. Oh, go, mommies, go, go. Anyway. It makes me miss my youth. People annoy me. You know what's really annoying me? These pro-life people. You ever look at their faces? I'm pro-life. Boy, don't they look it. They just exude joie de vivre, you know? You see them trying to go to an orphanage and adopt a kid. We're pro-life. We're here to adopt. Kids are just, oh, don't pick me. Oh, no. I'll eat gruel, 15 to a bed, no problem. Just keep Heather's Two Mommies coming and we're fine in here. I'm pro-life. You know, if you're really pro-life, do me a favor. Don't lock arms and block med clinics, okay? If you're so pro-life, do me a favor. Lock arms and block cemeteries, okay? Let's see how committed you are to this idea. She can't come in. She was 98. She was hit by a bus. There's options. Are we going to have her stuffed? What are we going to do with her? We're pro-life. That's the same look smokers give you, too. I'm a non-smoker. I'm a pro-life non-smoker. I'm getting that look a lot these days because I started smoking again, and I had 9 months without a cigarette, and I started again. And I'm getting that look. Are you applauding me starting or stopping? What are you? The smokers are, hey, you're back. Non-smokers, it's terrible. I can't believe he started again. Why? After 9 months. I have this belief. If that scenario is at all true when you die and you go to heaven and St. Peter meets you at the gate, I have this belief the first thing he's going to ask you is, you got a light? You mean y'all smoke here? Yeah, that's why it's heaven. These aren't clouds. This is cigarette smoke, pal. Hell is the non-smoking section. You want to look at them for a minute? Okay. I can't believe what they do to their bodies. It's so smelly. It smells like an ashtray. Why do they want me to smell that? God, that's hellish. Exactly. Light up and come on in. Hendrix is on harp tonight. So I've been traveling. I was in Australia. Over Easter, which was interesting to note. They celebrate Easter the same way we do, commemorating the death and resurrection of Jesus by telling our children a giant bunny rabbit left chocolate eggs in the night. I wonder why we're messed up as a race. Anybody got any clues? I've read the Bible. Can't find the word bunny or chocolate anywhere in the book. Why those two things? Why not, you know, goldfish left Lincoln logs in your sock drawer? You know, just making stuff up, go hog wild. But I think it's interesting to note how people act on religious beliefs. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Christians wear crosses around their necks. Nice sentiment. But do you think when Jesus comes back, he's really going to want to look at a cross? Ow. That may be why he hadn't shown up yet. Going, man, they're still wearing crosses, Dad. I'm not going, no. They totally missed the point. I'm not going. Forget it. I'll go back as a bunny. But,
Just great.
Dave, the quality of
He looks tremendous, and I've not seen that videotape or any part of it since that night, and seeing it now, it raises the question: what was the matter with me? What was I thinking? That was just tremendous. He if anything. It says a great deal about me. It says more about me as a guy than it says about Bill, because there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Just perfect. And the fact that, and I expected it to be somewhat dated, being that old, man, it's not. It's just great. He, in fact, I guess this speaks to the suggestion that he was way ahead of his time. Mary, this has been a good night for me, and I hope a good night for you.
It's been a very good night.
God bless you.
Thank you
nice
very
to
much.
see you. We'll be right back with the Gaslight Anthem, everybody.
From New York, it's The Late Show with me, Dave. Tonight, actress Andie MacDowell, musician Graham Parker, and comedian Bill Sheft. Plus, Paul Schaefer of the CBS Orchestra. And now, your announcer for the evening, David Letterman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful program for you here tonight. A very talented, very lovely woman, Andie MacDowell, is on the show. Beautiful. We're lucky to have her. Andie MacDowell. Oh, my. Also, Graham Parker is here. Now say hello to our good friend Paul Schaefer. He's right over there. Paul! Our next guest is a very entertaining comedian, Bill Sheft. Bill, come on out here. Have a wonderful weekend, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Good night, everybody.
From New York, much scarier than Jurassic Park, it's The Late Show with David Letterman. Tonight, actress Andie MacDowell, musician Graham Parker, and comedian Bill Hicks. Plus, Paul Schaefer and the CBS Orchestra. And now, your waiter for the evening, David Letterman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful program for you here tonight. A very talented, very lovely woman, Andie MacDowell, is on the show. Beautiful. We're lucky to have her. Andie MacDowell. Oh, my. Also, Graham Parker is here, and, yeah. Very funny comedian, Mr. Bill Hicks. Now say hello to our good friend, Paul Schaefer. He's right over there. Paul! Thank you, boy. Our next guest is a very entertaining comedian. He will be appearing at the Comedy Corner in West Palm Beach, Florida, October 5th through the 10th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the big program, Bill Hicks. Bill!
Thank you. Good evening. Very excited to be here tonight, and I got some great news today. I finally got my own TV show coming out as a replacement show this fall. Yeah. Thank you. It's not a talk show. Don't worry. It's a half-hour weekly show that I will host entitled Let's Hunt and Kill Billy Ray Cyrus. Thank you. It's fairly self-explanatory. Each week we let the hounds of hell loose. We chase that jarhead, no-talent, cracker idiot all over the globe. Till I finally catch that fruity little ponytail of his, pull him to his knees, put a shotgun in his mouth. Then we'll be back in '94 with Let's Hunt and Kill Michael Bolton. Also look out for our Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer, Marky Mark Christmas special. And I don't want to give away any surprises, but Marky Mark's the first one we catch and kill on that show because his pants kept falling around his ankles and he couldn't run away. I crossbow him right in the abs. Bring the whole kids, the family, and everything. It's a Christmas spectacular. I don't know what my deal is. I'm like a 31-year-old curmudgeon. That's the deal. You know, I went to a dance club the other day, you know, and dragged against my will, you know. And this girl asked me to dance, which I thought was hilarious, you know. Would you like to dance? You know, I'm like, yeah, you read my mind, you know. That's why I'm leaning in the darkest corner closest to the exit, you know. I'm about to boogie. I'm about to cut a rug. But it's weird. Women have this weird myth. You can tell the way a guy is in bed by how he is on a dance floor. I think that's ridiculous. What does it matter? You know what I mean? If a guy is on a dance floor really getting into it, enjoying himself, expressing himself, what does it matter how he is in bed? He's gay. Real men don't dance. They sit, sweat, and curse. Speaking of homosexuality, you know, I consider myself fairly open-minded, but something has come to my attention I find absolutely shocking. I don't know if you've heard about it. These new grade school books for children to teach them gay lifestyles. You know what I'm talking about? One of them is called Heather's Two Mommies. The other is called Daddy's New Roommate. I'm going to have to draw the line here, folks, and say this is absolutely disgusting, okay? It is grotesque and evil. I'm talking about Daddy's New Roommate. Heather's Two Mommies is pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever checked that out. They're hugging on page 7. Oh, go, mommies, go, go. Anyway, it makes me miss my youth. People annoy me. You know what's really annoying me? These pro-life people. You ever look at their faces? I'm pro-life. Boy, don't they look it? They just exude joie de vivre, you know? You see them trying to go to an orphanage and adopt a kid. We're pro-life. We're here to adopt. Kids are just, oh, don't pick me. Oh, no. I'll eat gruel, 15 to a bed, no problem. Just keep Heather's 2 mommies coming, and we're fine in here. I'm pro-life. You know, if you're really pro-life, do me a favor. Don't lock arms and block med clinics, okay? If you're so pro-life, do me a favor. Lock arms and block cemeteries, okay? Let's see how committed you are to this idea. She can't come in. She was 98. She was hit by a bus. There's options. Are we going to have her stuffed? What are we going to do with her? We're pro-life. That's the same look smokers give you, too. I'm a non-smoker. I'm a pro-life non-smoker. I'm getting that look a lot these days because I started smoking again, and I had 9 months without a cigarette, and I started again. And I'm getting that look. Are you applauding me starting or stopping? What are you? The smokers say, hey, you're back. Non-smokers, it's terrible. I can't believe he started again. Why? After 9 months. I have this belief. If that scenario is at all true when you die and you go to heaven and St. Peter meets you at the gate, I have this belief the first thing he's going to ask you is, you got a light? You mean y'all smoke here? Yeah, that's why it's heaven. These aren't clouds. This is cigarette smoke, pal. Hell is the non-smoking section. You want to look at them for a minute? Okay. I can't believe what they do to their bodies. It's so smelly. It smells like an ashtray. Why do they want me to smell that? God, that's hellish. Exactly. Light up and come on in. Hendrix is on harp tonight. So I've been traveling. I was in Australia. Over Easter, which was interesting to note. They celebrate Easter the same way we do, commemorating the death and resurrection of Jesus by telling our children a giant bunny rabbit left chocolate eggs in the night. I wonder why we're messed up as a race. Anybody got any clues? I've read the Bible. Can't find the word bunny or chocolate anywhere in the book. Why those 2 things? Why not, goldfish left Lincoln logs in your sock drawer? Just making stuff up, go hog wild. But I think it's interesting to note how people act on religious beliefs. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Christians wear crosses around their necks. Nice sentiment. But do you think when Jesus comes back, he's really going to want to look at a cross? Ow. That may be why he hasn't shown up yet. He's going, man, they're still wearing crosses, Dad. I'm not going, no. They totally missed the point. I'm not going. Forget it. I'll go back as a bunny. But,
Always nice to have a few uplifting minutes from you, Bill.
Thank you, buddy.
We're going to do a commercial. We'll be right back here. All right. Is the limbo contest on deck C or D?
Now cut that out.
All right. Bill, thank you very much. Nice to see you, and good luck with your mail the next couple of weeks. It'll be fun for you.
I was going to juggle.
Project. Oh, that's all right.
They told me the ceiling was too high.
My thanks also to Graham Parker and the lovely Andy McDowell. Have a wonderful weekend, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Good night, everybody.